So during an earnings call this past Tuesday, Disney said they're happy with EA's work and that they have a good relationship with them. Same EA that made Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 and canceled a open world Star Wars game that people were looking forward to and is squandering the Star Wars license. They're happy with them. Yeah.
Skip it up and that up.
So Disney CEO Bob Iger this past Tuesday was in an earnings call, and many people expected him to rip EA a new one, but he didn't. He actually said he has a good relationship with the company and he's happy with their work. This is what he had to say. We're good at making movies and television shows and theme parks and cruise ships and the like. We've just never managed to demonstrate much skill on the publishing side of games. Over the years, as you know, we've tried our hand at self-publishing. We've bought companies, we've sold companies. We've bought developers, we've closed developers, and we've found over the years that we haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side. But we've been great at the licensing side, which obviously doesn't require that much allocation of capital. Since we're allocating capital in other directions, we've just decided that the best place for us to be in that space is licensing and not publishing. We've had good relationships with some of those we're licensing to, notably EA and the relationship on the Star Wars properties, and we're probably going to stay on that side of the business and put our capital elsewhere. So, Bob, Mr. Iger, I'm not the CEO of a wildly successful company that is probably going to take over the entire world, but have you not been paying attention what's going on with the Star Wars franchise, with EA developing it or EA controlling it? They've been controlling it since 2013. Star Wars Battlefront 1 was okay, but it was just a hollow husk of a game. And then they added more with DLC, but it still felt incomplete. Star Wars Battlefront 2, you tried to inundate with loot boxes. Okay, or EA, I should say, tried to inundate it with loot boxes. And there was such a backlash that at the last minute, the 11th hour, EA got rid of all the loot boxes and all the microtransactions, for a while anyway, and the game felt broken because the game was designed to incentivize people to want to purchase those loot boxes. So they made you grind and grind and grind and be like, oh man, you know what? I'm just going to throw some money at the game, some real world currency to get the stuff I was grinding for. That was Star Wars Battlefront 2. Then there was supposed to be an open world Star Wars game that was headed by Amy Hennig, who is famous for her work on the Uncharted series. And you cancel that. What has EA done that has made you happy, Bob, over at Disney? What have they done? Now, maybe the Respawn Entertainment Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? That may be the game that redeems EA. And, you know, Respawn Entertainment, there's some talented dudes over there. They're the people that used to be behind the Call of Duty series. All right? They used to work at Infinity Ward. And I think Titanfall 2 is one of the most tragically overlooked games of this generation. The single-player campaign in that game has some of the best gunplay and some of the best gameplay I've ever witnessed. But what have they done, Bob? What have they done to make you happy? Now, the only thing I could think of is that maybe behind the scenes, like in closed-door meetings, not during earnings calls, Disney CEO Bob is like, yeah, EA ain't cutting it. Maybe they're shopping around and they're looking through the contract to see if there's a loophole so they could get out of this binding contract with EA. And they just don't want to say anything because they don't want to put the drama out there so fat asses like me talk about it. But if it's true that Disney is truly happy with the performance of EA's Star Wars games, they are tone deaf and not paying attention. And they need to, because Star Wars games, it's just like Star Wars is the perfect setting to make great video games. How is EA screwing this up? And yet they are. Terribly. And not only are they EA hurting their own reputation, they're hurting the Star Wars franchise as a brand. And Disney, you don't want that, because you bought that for billions of dollars, wanting to make billions of dollars more. And that's on the line right now. And if you are happy with EA's performance, you need to pay attention, because there's something seriously wrong. And there's many other developers out there who would be up to the task of making fantastic Star Wars games. So you need to think things over and pay attention more to what's going on. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.
Hey, congratulations! If you made it to the end of the video, you should subscribe to Review Tech USA so you can hear me blabber on some more. Also, too, starting this month, I will be live streaming solely on Twitch. I'll have a link to my Twitch channel below in the description. And last but not least, make sure you click that like button. It helps out the show big time. See you guys in the next video.